people.
Antonio.
That was disgusting. Can't believe you did that.
Antonio. Now, why are you calling? You're singing this to take the piss out of me the other day when Antonio scored. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Yeah, you all laughed at me.
Have your moment. Mate.
Who's laughing now? Yeah, Antonio is a game changer. Be worried, Corey. Be worried.
No, I ain't bothered, mate.
This is the level. This is the level they've fallen to, though. Yeah, that they've now like be worried West Ham.
Hang about, mate. Hang about.
You're right. Be worried West Ham and be worried Arsenal.
Oh, mate, I already know we're finished. You don't need to preach to the choir, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
You've got a long way to go, but Conte does help a fair bit. To be fair, I will give you that.
I see. What's his name? Jamie O'Hara giving it. Oh yeah, Tottenham are back. Back to where? They ain't won anything for how long? Back to what?
Listen. I don't speak for Jamie O'Hara. He's a clown. I don't rep him. I'm just telling you what. I'm telling you what's coming from me, and I'm gassed. Like,
yeah, I can tell because you and Farad have taken over the TL. Like, you are just like running rampage on their expressions. All of you Tottenham fans are just like posting holiday photos and like, it's mad. It's
I'll wet myself if they lose to Everton in the weekend.
Of course they will.
We'll get into it, of course. But like, we're not celebrating because we think, oh, Antonio Conte is going to just all of a sudden come in and Spurs are going to be this ridiculous team that wins every game for the rest of the season and finishes top 4. We don't think that. We're realistic. We're celebrating because we actually have a manager that we can actually hang our hat on and say, yes, like, you are going to take us forward. Like, we've not had that since Pochettino's got sacked. We've not. We had Jose Mourinho, who was finished on a downward trajectory, and all he wanted to do was park the bus. And then we had Nuno, a mid-level manager who was well out of his depth. Like, we had nothing. And now, with Antonio Conte in our team, we have a way forward. The only question is, will this board give him everything he needs to succeed? And the fact that he signed for us indicates that they are going to have to relent, because he's not a guy who does half measures. You can't bullshit him. If you bullshit him, he's going to turn the place upside down.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to get onto, is the fact that, you know, Conte is like a very, you know, very straight and narrow guy. You give him what he wants and he brings you the league title. That's proven track record time and time again. If you try and piss him around and mess him around and waste his time, he'll either just walk away or he'll set the whole house on fire, burn it down to the ground and keep it moving same way. So like, there's so much to get into, first of all, with like Conte and this move, because you already tried to get him over the summer. Obviously, Levy was being stingy or whatever, and he didn't go the whole way. And then obviously he ended up with Nuno, and then he saw, okay, so this is what it's like if I don't actually pull my finger out my ass. And then he went back and got him. But like, it's fascinating to me because the top 4 race this season now has just like blown wide open, because we've seen Manchester United last night and every night, really, almost every night, rely on individual brilliance, rely on Cristiano Ronaldo. It was Bruno Fernandes, and I was saying to Lee backstage, now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. The only thing that has changed is the hero. It used to be Superman, now it's Batman. That's all that's changed. There's no tactics, there's no long-term plan. It's just a different hero. And now you've got a structure and a system. You've got a shit team still. I reminded you that in your chat. But you still have a shit team, but you've got a proper manager who's going to put in a proper system.
Yeah, we know we've got a shit team, though.
You can put, the thing is with Tottenham, though, you can put together an 11. Do you know what I mean? It's the bench and like the depth. That's where it starts to get really sticky.
He's gonna
and obviously Corey winning games. So
we're huge at the minute. We're absolutely massive. we're on a serious run, like to the point where even I'm going, hang on a minute. Moisey must have been serious when he said he was going to try and go for top 4. And apparently he wants to get Lingard in January. So we'll talk about that a bit later. But I think a couple of
signings.
What's
that mean on top, boy? You're still going on about that? You're still going on about Jesse Lingard?
Yes.
Sign him or shut up about it already. Fuck.
Relax, mate. Relax. It's not us. We're taking back tomorrow, mate.
Look at the cockiness of this guy, by the way.
I know. One decent manager. Look at him. He was ashamed of himself last week.
He's fired up now.
Yeah. I got fire in my belly. I got fire in my belly. Yeah, and what?
That's the lamb foul you had last night, bro.
Bro, you don't understand. I've actually woken up with a spring in my step. Like, I've gone to the gym this morning. I'm prepping my food. I'm making jollof rice this evening. I'm making jerk chicken. My schedule's up to date. Honestly, this Antonio Conte news has just completely just made my week, man. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to take on November and December. Honestly, I'm ready.
Victor saying it's hard to be happy for Toby after he called me a virgin.
Go get laid.
Everyone,
Go get laid. And then we'll talk about it, brother. Get laid.
Let's start with Conte, right? And then we'll get into the top 4 race after, and we'll bring in Arsenal and West Ham because they're in good form. But Tottenham, yeah, I said it on the Big Six. I'm keeping it reserved. He obviously has to win a trophy. Like, for me, there's no excuse. If you don't win a trophy under this man, the serial winner, then something's very wrong with the fibre, the cloth, the wall, everything in your club. Like, you need to strip it and start again. Change the badge, change the shirt, change the home kit, stadium, rip it all up and start again. But for you now, what's your expectation with a world-class manager coming in who's on the level of, Pep, Tuchel, Klopp? He's coming in. What's your expectation for this season? What do you want to see now as a Spurs fan? What's going to make Toby stay on the pina coladas, and what's going to put him on I don't know, on the watch list?
I tweeted it yesterday. Like, everyone in the comments are just talking rubbish, saying, "Oh, don't get too cocky." How is it cocky to say that I want him to finish in the top 6, to play better football, to concede less, to create more? Like, these are realistic objectives. So for me, I'm looking at it like this. Like, our squad is poor. It's poor for a top 6 squad. But like you said, we are capable of putting together an 11 that can do something. Do you get what I'm saying? It can do something. And if there's any manager that can get the underperforming players, not the shit ones, the underperforming players playing better, creating more, defending better, it's Antonio Conte. So for me, honestly, I want him to target a top 6 finish. I want him to have us playing better with the ball. Yeah, and then I want him to help us establish those great defensive shapes out of possession that he's had at Inter Milan and at Chelsea when you lot were actually thriving. It would be nice to win a trophy. I want him to target the Europa Conference League as well. So I think that's a realistic target.
This sums up Tottenham in a nutshell, though. Yeah, this sums up what you've just said there. Sums up exactly why you ain't won nothing for so long. He needs to target a top 6 finish. You're 5 points off 4th place, yeah? And you're targeting a top 6. Man United, their luck's going to run out at some point because Ronaldo and Bruno and Pogba, they're not all going to be the hero. Like, nicking last-minute equalisers again last night. So
why not?
Why not? Because you can't keep nicking draws in stoppage time. It's not sustainable.
They've been doing it for 2 years now.
Yeah, and they've also got no penalties. I think they've had 1 penalty this season, haven't they?
Yeah.
Whereas before they were getting penalty. They've had 1 and ballooned it into orbit. It's not sustainable, man. Okay,
you're right. It's not sustainable, but you have made a good point, and Matisse has made a good point of how poor our squad is. How we expect. You're saying, oh yeah, Spurs are only, I don't know, a couple points off the top 4. What's our goal difference this season?
-7.
How many goals? How many goals?
We scored the second least amount of goals in the league.
How many goals have you scored? How many goals you conceded? This team.
Yeah, but you've got one of the best strikers in Europe. You've got Son. Yeah, yes, Kane's underperforming, but if he gets them firing like Jose did, the Jose that you didn't like, by the way, like Jose did last season when they were smashing records for goals and assists in the first part of the season, if he gets them firing like that, you've got Ndombele, you've got Lucas, who's probably been your best player this season. Yeah, on form.
And he's not even good. He's not a good player.
No, I'm not saying he's good, but what I'm saying is he has been your best player, and his performances have been levels above your current performance as a team. Right? If he can get that performance week in, week out from Lucas, and if Nuno can, then I'm sure Conte will get more. Right? Then you've got Ndombele and Højbjerg, 2 good players. You've got Reguilon, who's a good player, and then you've got Romero and Lloris. You've got a decent team there that just needs 2 or 3 first team players to elevate it up to a sustainable top 4 team.
That's around like 8 or 9 players. 2, we are in European competition. We're still in the League Cup. We still got FA Cup to come.
West Ham, by the way,
in January.
the worst squad.
Yeah, so but we are like you've rightly said.
Corey, like, excuse me.
Easy. We
are competing with West Ham now. Like, I don't like that should tell you how low we've sunken. Like we're competing with West Ham now. Like I have no shame in saying
we've got the best away record in the league. What are you talking about?
It's just the facts. What's that?
Instead, you're saying, "Oh, I can't believe we're looking down at West Ham," but you look at the last.
I'm not saying
West Ham are using this punching bags. It's very disrespectful.
That's what Lee said. That's what I'm saying.
It's an easy get out. It's an easy get out, isn't it?
It's not an easy get out because it's the truth. Like targeting a top 6 finish is not setting our standards low. It's being realistic. I'm not saying that he can't try and go for top 4, but he's going to need.
You've got 28 games to get 5-point clawback on West Ham, who are 4th.
Lee, we're only 10 games in, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying. So you've got 28 games and you're targeting 6.
Okay, so realistically, even with Antonio Conte, do you believe that Spurs will finish in the top 4?
I think that it's between you and United, and I think I think it's between you and United, and I think, like I just said a minute ago, United can't keep nicking last-minute winners and equalising.
Okay,
yeah, so he'll put a stop to it.
You said that Jose Mourinho. You made a point of how we shouldn't have sacked Jose Mourinho. He was such a good manager. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. He had Son and Kane firing last season. Where did we finish?
Yeah, but you sacked him.
No, but where was he in the table when we sacked
him in February?
No, we sacked him in April, bro. Where were we in the table when we sacked him?
Was you like 7th or something?
We were 6th. We were 6th.
Okay, and how far off 4th were you at that point?
We're at least 6 points off top 4.
Okay, well, hang on.
But my point is this.
Chelsea were 9th and finished 4th.
Yeah? You have to walk before you run. Yeah, you have to walk before you run. Antonio,
and you lot have been crawling for about 20 years, bruv. Come on, get real, man.
Not true. We finished. Where did we finish last year? We finished 7th. The year before that, we finished 6th. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is 2 seasons outside of the top 4.
So now progress is top 4, isn't it?
What?
Not a top
now that you have a world-class manager, now he's saying progress will be top 4.
Realistically, are Tottenham good enough to be top 4? Like, I'm not
The only way I can seriously expect this team to make a strong push for top 4 is if we bring in some quality additions in January.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
You cannot watch this team, even with Antonio Conte. You can't watch this team week in, week out and tell me, oh yeah, this team are capable of challenging the top 4. There's a difference between challenging for the top 4, yeah, and being in and around. Last year, under Jose Mourinho, from around January to April, we were in and around the top 4, but we weren't really serious challenges because we couldn't maintain consistency to save our lives. We don't have the players capable of putting together a good stretch of form. We don't. We've got an easy run of games coming up now, a fairly easy run of games coming up now, yeah, for Antonio Conte to actually pick up points. But I'm talking about when the going gets tough and you start playing teams mid-table, top 7, top 4. Do you think that this team are capable of putting together a run right now? No, they're not.
I don't think the team are capable, but the manager can take them that extra percentage.
Of course he can. And Matisse,
you do need additions. Like if
Matisse,
you go in,
I said top 6 finish, so that doesn't even necessarily mean 6th. We could finish 5th.
Yeah, but you do need some additions. Like if you go into January and say Brozovic is running out of contract, 6 months left. Say you go and get him from Inter Milan and you bring him into your midfield, and you take out Lascelles.
Why would they sell him in January?
Huh? Well, he's running out of contract. He's running out of contract. He's got 6 months left.
Okay, so, but that would mean we'd have to get him in January then.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you put a bit of money on top, but this is what it takes to back Conte. I saw something like you have £100 million budget for Conte. I don't know what your budget will be, but as I said, in January you need to invest because, like you said, the squad is shit.
As I said, an 11, you need more than an 11 to finish in the top 4. That's a fact. Yeah. So all this talk about, oh, you can put together a team. Yeah, we can put together a team. But when we're playing Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, etc., yeah, you need a strong squad to last through. West Ham are doing well now, but it remains to be seen how well West Ham will do in January, in February time. Yeah. And Corey, am I lying here? Do you have that in the back of your mind to see how's this squad going to cope when we're deep into the season and we still, let's say you get into the you're obviously going to get into the knockout stages of Europe, and you're still in the League Cup. Imagine if you beat us, then that means you're in the semi-finals of the League Cup. Then you've got the FA Cup to contend with as well, and your squad is smaller than ours. These things matter.
Agreed.
These things
Yeah,
matter.
we're the same as you. We're the same as you in terms of January. We need to start looking already because if we're not careful, we're doing well at the minute in terms of managing it. But Tobs, is your thing about? Do you think Spurs' first 11 is good enough to get the top 4? Or are you saying
No,
the squad?
I don't even think the first 11 isn't good enough to get to the top 4. It isn't. So if the first 11 isn't good enough to get into the top 4, God help us with the options on the bench. So that's why I'm saying Antonio Conte, he is a miracle worker. If he gets top 4 with his team, then he's a better manager than I thought, because that squad is not ready to get top 4. Yeah, it isn't. So for me, he needs to bring in. Me saying top 6 finish, I think that's fair. Me saying a trophy, I think that's fair. Me saying better football, better defending, I think that's fair. They're realistic objectives. If we sign players in January, good quality additions, yeah, another centre back, another midfielder, another striker, a proper right winger, yeah. If we make these additions in January, then I can stick my chest out a bit more and say, okay, you know what? With these additions and Antonio Conte, yeah, let's try and make a push for top 4. But
fair enough. I agree with that. I think it does heavily rely on the January additions. But does that mean everybody sitting here still has United to finish 4th?
No.
With Ollie in charge.
No.
You don't?
I totally disagree with everything he's just said. Yeah, because
why can't they finish top 4?
No, I'm not saying they can't finish top 4, but you're disregarding Tottenham saying, and I don't like giving Tottenham any praise or credit, right? You have got a fucking manager that you're sitting there buzzing your tits off over, but then you're sitting there contradicting everything you're buzzing over by saying that you can't get top 4, we're not ready yet. Well, guess what? Your manager's ready. Your manager's not coming in there. Your manager, if he's got anything about him, which we all know he has probably sat down with that bald fraud you've got. Yeah. And I know you're bald. Sorry, Tobes. Right. I'm getting there. But he would have sat down with Daniel Levy and he would have said, that Conference League, we just fucked that off. We put the reserves out in that, because then getting into that top 4 is more important than winning that dead competition. Right? Yes, it's great.
Hey, you said a couple of weeks ago trophies are more important than top.
No. But for what Tottenham wants and what the manager would want, it is better for Tottenham. Me personally, I'd go all out to win the competition. But Antonio Conte is not going to sit there without Champions League football for too long. Yeah, the guy just won a title in Italy. Yeah, so he's going to come in. Yeah, cool. You could go and win the Conference League. He'd probably take the trophy over top 4. But what I'm saying is, if he had anything about him, which I think he has, I think they probably would have said, listen, that competition is going to fuck us getting into Champions League to then going for a stint at the fucking big push next season. If you stay in that competition and you get an injury to Harry Kane, or you get an injury to Ndombele, or you get an injury to Romero or anyone else of Son in that competition, right? And then you don't end up winning it and you finish 8th. What was the point? Yeah. So if I was him, I'd just bin that competition off and just play the reserves and go all out for a top 4 push. Me personally, it's 3rd loser. I always want a trophy over 4th. But for what you want and what you've got in terms of your manager and the length of contract he's on, you can't be fucking around in that competition. Bin it off, top 4, Champions League next season, and then you go for a fucking real push.
Anything he does right now this season, if he exceeds expectations, it's a bonus. But he has an 18-month contract for a reason. The squad is in disarray. He's going to have a January window. What's that?
What's the reason he only got 18 months?
It's to protect his interest and to protect the club's interest. It's common practice.
Because the payout, because you fucking paid Nuno all the money.
I'm telling you now, for Antonio Conte to sign with Tottenham, he must have had some serious assurances in that contract.
This is what I'm saying.
He's getting a serious wage. He's the 2nd highest paid manager in the league.
Rightly so.
He must have literally been like, this is the player I want, and you're going to sign him in January.
I think this is what Lee's saying. Although I agree with Toby's expectations because of the squad, I think what Lee's saying is that you're on a ticking time bomb right now. From the moment he walks through the door, you're on a ticking time bomb. This is not a guy that sticks around for donkey's years. You need Champions League football to attract the level of player that he wants. You probably can attract players just from his name.
Victor Moses, mate.
All out next year. And really reach your highest potential under this manager in his last year of his contract, you need to be in Champions League football. I think that's what he's getting at. And
of course.
Remember, winning the Conference League only puts you in Europa League football. The reward is shit.
Listen,
I'm enjoying it, mate.
But listen. Conte's joined us in November. Yeah, Conte's joined us in November. He didn't have a pre-season. He didn't have a say on the transfers that we made in the summer. He didn't have a say on the players that have left. Yeah, he has 3 windows essentially to try and transform this team, plus the months in between of playing time. We need, of course, he's a win now manager, but this shit is not going to change drastically overnight.
This is what he does, though. He changes shit drastically overnight.
I'm not underestimating how good this manager is.
How am I underestimating?
Because I'll tell you why, right? He took an Inter Milan team that was in disarray and 26 points or whatever it was behind Juve, yeah, to 1 point behind them in his first season and the Europa League final.
Inter Milan were a champion. Inter Milan were a Champions League side when he took over.
Irrelevant.
How was that irrelevant? So that's my point. Inter Milan,
because this league is a better league, yeah. So in that league, there's only 2 teams, really. Let's be real.
There isn't only 2 teams, though. That's
okay.
Not true.
So when he took over, who were the 4 in the Champions League?
Inter Milan, Juventus, Atalanta, and Napoli.
Okay, Atalanta. Wow, they play sexy football and win fuck all. Yeah,
and they consistently finished. They've had like three or 4 successive third.
Okay, have they won the league? Have they been in a title race? No. Who else was the other team? Who was the 4th team?
You can't compare. What I'm saying is you can't compare the position Inter Milan were when he took over Inter to the position.
You can, because they were 26 points behind the title. Yeah, and he took them to 1 point behind and a Europa League final in his first season. And then the following season, he walked a title.
Listen, Lee.
Where were Atalanta in this, by the way?
I'm not underestimating Conte. Conte is a tremendous manager. You see how happy I'm celebrating. Yeah. What I'm saying to you is, I don't want to place unrealistic expectations.
Toby, he took Juve from 7th to 1st.
Bro, it's okay. I don't have skullduggery on this one, bro. You can say whatever you want.
Bro, it's not about saying whatever I want. This is how I feel, bro. This is how I feel.
Mate, he's gone from 7th to 1st. He's gone from 26 points to 1st. He's gone from 10th to 1st. And you think he can't take you from 7th or wherever you are to 4th?
It's not even that it's impossible.
28 games left. Come on, Tobs, man.
It's not even that it's...
I'm putting up a better fight for Tottenham.
Am I going to land? Are you going to let me land? Yeah? You're going to let me land. It's not even that it's completely impossible, but it is highly unlikely, bro. We don't have... As I said, unless the squad gets a massive revamp in January. I think
but it should, because it's Conte's.
Yeah, exactly my point. So
I can't imagine Conte sitting through a January transfer window and still seeing Eric Dyer in training every morning and saying, yeah, that's good enough. Like, he's going to say, piss off.
Bro, 100%. So we need about 2 or 3 additions in January.
I think you'll get them, yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, let them come in, let's see who they are, and then I'll reassess. Right now, you can't tell me that this squad is primed to challenge for top 4, even with Antonio Conte. You can't.
Mate, there's a comment in this chat that says, Lee, you have to look at things in context. Would Conte get Norwich's squad in the top 4? Conte has never taken over a team that are bottom of the table, mate. Right? Conte's taken over teams that are kind of mid-table-ish. When for Chelsea, for example, 10th, Juve was 7th. Inter, although they weren't mid-table, they were a million miles away from winning a title. Yeah, and then he's turned that shit into gold real quick. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying 7th in the table, I think you are. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Lee, 7th, 5 points off Manchester United.
Lee,
5 points off West Ham.
That's what I'm saying. Time. Oh my God.
They're 9th. Sorry, they're actually 9th.
It takes time.
You're 5 points off 3rd place, right?
It's
5 points. You're only 10 points off the title.
Hey, slow it down.
Never, mate. It'll never get there. They're buzzing a second.
That's
not real, though. In fairness,
listen. Honestly, like, we just have to be like, I get it. Antonio Conte, but there just has to be some realism and sensible talk here. Yeah, when he took over Chelsea, 1, they had no Champions League football. 2, the season prior they had just won the league title. Yeah, so the season before they down tools under Jose Mourinho, they had just won a league title. So in amongst the underperformers, they still had a core fulcrum of players that could still put together a run of form. Yeah. Inter Milan, in his first season, he took them up to 2nd. He had them challenging for the title, yes, and they fell away because why? The squad wasn't good enough, and they weren't able to compete with Juventus. Yeah, we know the quality. The quality is he took them from 4th to 2nd in the first season with investment. What I'm asking is for Antonio Conte to take us from 7th to 5th in the space of a couple months. Why is that unrealistic?
No, I'm not saying it's unrealistic. I just think that sums up Tottenham. You should be.
It doesn't sum up Tottenham. It's realistic. If we get
a world-class manager to move up 2 places,
if we get the injection of quality with players, then
yes, okay, cool. Why they never win anything?
Take us from 7th to maybe 4th.
Yeah, mate. You have to. You do what you're doing. I don't care. In my club, I'm just trying to say raise your standards a little bit. You've got a world-class manager.
You can't say in 1 week how shit the squad is, and then the second week Antonio Conte comes in and you think
Frank Lampard had their lot in 9th place, right? He had them in 9th place. He stood there live and said this team is not ready to challenge for trophies. They then eventually sacked him in 9th place. Tuchel comes in, gets them to 2 finals, wins one of them, and gets top 4. This season, he's up there with the best defence in the league, and I think they're top scorers. Yeah, and they're out the group already, pretty much, isn't it? You've qualified from the group.
Yeah. Well,
so that just proves how bad manager Lampard is.
And
didn't it really?
Well, it proves 2 things. 1, Lampard weren't great at all, and 2, Tuchel's fucking brilliant, right? So this is what I'm saying. Nuno, not great. Conte, fucking brilliant.
Yeah, Conte.
If he can do that at Chelsea, how comes you can't do that? And he had less time to get them into top 4, and they were 9th. Better squad, granted. But guess what? He's only added 2 players this summer, and both of them.
Man said better squad granted. I think we need to stop saying this 9th thing. Chelsea had a £250 injection.
Yeah.
No. Wait, let's
they had a transfer ban the season before, so they'd only spent their own money, mate.
Let's have it right. Chelsea.
You're hard work.
Chelsea had a £250 million injection before Tuchel came in. That squad, if it didn't finish in the top 4, that's an embarrassment. Yeah, don't shake your head. If Chelsea didn't finish in the top 4 last season, that would have been an utter embarrassment because before a ball was kicked, every single person had them finishing in the top 4, even with a shit manager in Frank Lampard. Why?
That's true.
Because the squad is too strong.
That's true.
Before a ball was kicked this season, where on earth did you have Spurs finishing? Where did you have Spurs finishing? So then be realistic with Antonio Conte coming in. Be realistic. Unless we get an injection of quality in January, stop expecting this guy to just leapfrog the quality of squads we have in the league. Yes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a poor manager, but Man United literally have match winners littered all over the pitch. Chelsea have Chelsea have bench players and low knees that will probably start in our team. Man City have bench players that will start in our team.
Talk about it. Keep spitting.
Is actually true.
Stop acting like it's on a level playing field. Antonio Conte is going to have us punching above our weight in certain aspects this season, but it's not all going to come together until he gets adequate investment in this team. So
that man is spitting.
Please stop.
Gallagher would start for them. Tino Livramento would start for them.
It's not
even playing for you, bro. Relax.
Being realistic.
He's spitting. Let me fly through some super chats. Bro. I'm gonna take it on to the next segment.
What's Conte gonna do? Is he gonna come in and Dele Alli's gonna be banging in goals? The guy can't even trap a ball.
let me tell you something, right? If Antonio Conte had taken over at Arsenal, I'd be sitting here knocking one out saying we're in a title race this season.
You're in Europe and you spent 170 million. And you're not, and I can tell you that for free. There's no way on earth you're in a title race. Impossible with Antonio Conte. Impossible.
No, of course not.
You're talking rubbish.
Of course not.
Mate, I hope you win nothing. I hope you win nothing because if you do, you're going to be so smug.
You just said, right? So wait. Guys, are we going to let Lee say this? He's just said if Antonio Conte came to Arsenal, they're challenging for the title. That is
this season.
Rubbish.
This season. Do you actually believe that?
No, they wouldn't, bro.
We wouldn't have lost the first 3 games.
Garbage.
We wouldn't have lost the first 3 games.
Nonsense.
Yeah, we would not have lost the first 3 games.
We will see. We will see with Conte in the next 10 games where Tottenham are. And then when we figure it out, and if they're on a bounce, which they could be with their fixtures, then the argument stands a little bit more.
We should be. If we have a run of games.
You'll lose against us in the cup, which is good.
Of course.
Yeah. We'll go there and bowl you over. Mate, I can't wait. Get me a ticket now. Trust me, David Moyes is going to turn up.
This will teach you to come all smug, yeah? This will teach you
to come smug, You're not beating us in that cup, by the way. I can tell you that for free.
Oh, okay.
What did he say?
He said you're not beating him in that cup game.
You're not up against a mid-table level manager.
Wait, hold on. Who's finishing higher? West Ham or Tottenham now with the current state of play? David Moyes versus Conte. Corey, do you think you're still finishing ahead of them?
What, ahead of Spurs?
You don't have to say
Yeah, West Ham versus
himself.
Spurs in terms of
You don't have to say us at the minute.
That's a cheeky.
I
that's a
am.
cheeky
I
little
am.
question.
Trust me, mate. When that news come out, I was thinking,
Conte's a game changer, which is why a top 6
gutted.
finish is fair.
So you
We'll be
think
neck
West
and
Ham
neck.
will finish
We'll be
above
neck and
Tottenham, Toby? Yeah.
No, I don't. When did I say
No. I'm asking you a question. I didn't hear what you were saying. So you don't think you're going to get in the top 4, but you think you'll finish above West Ham? Are we hearing this right? Okay, so you think West Ham will finish what, 6th or below then?
6th or 7th? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Lizzie says, question for Toby: who's your 3 centre backs for Conte? It's a good question.
Romero, Tanganga, and then I don't know the third. The third one is the best of a bad bunch. Really, they're all pants.
Nigel Football says he won Serie A with whoever the hell them two are.
And la
come on, bro. You need a history lesson.
Vucinic and La Cuenta.
Mirko Vucinic. Come on.
Oh, I remember them. Yeah, I think I remember them. Yeah. He can definitely get top 4. I'm a Chelsea fan, and there's no shame in saying Conte is better than Tuchel. All right, you took it too far now. Calm it down. Calm it down. All right. Just don't.
I've seen people legit
do
say Conte's better than Pep. I literally cannot get my head over
Calm
that.
it down.
He's a better manager than Pep.
All right, calm it down.
For me, he's the third. For me,
Conte's
he's the
European
third best
record
manager.
still stinks.
He's
Calm
the
it down.
third best manager in the league. Let's have it right.
Above who?
He's the third best manager in the league.
He could listen. Let him sit in 4th for now, and then we'll let
Yeah,
him.
but I'm not saying this to gloat. I'm saying it as a fact. I would have said this irrespective of him joining
Pep,
Spurs.
Klopp, Conte.
He's the third manager in the league.
in
Third
that
best
order.
manager in the league.
I'm taking Tuchel ahead of him because I know that in terms of like working with a board and like not spitting your dummy out and not trying to sue people and all that stuff, I'm taking Tuchel. In terms of like the whole game, I'm taking Tuchel.
You know,
in terms of everything. In terms of playing in Europe, I'm taking Tuchel. I'm taking in terms of the whole thing, I'm taking Tuchel. So I don't care in it. I'm not even going to get into an argument about that because we're talking about 4 world-class managers. I'm just saying, I know I'm taking Tuchel with my team, my board, playing young players, improving young players, making them.
Where does Mikel Arteta fit into all of
I'm
this?
taking Tuchel.
But Matisse,
There's so many
like,
areas.
Matisse, it's the same stuff you said about Gareth Bale and Callum Hudson-Odoi last season. And
look where they. What's Gareth Bale doing right now? What's Hudson-Odoi doing right now? Don't make me bring up the 1v1 demon.
Bring it up. It doesn't matter what Gareth Bale's doing. There's no planet right now where Callum Hudson-Odoi is a better player than Gareth Bale, and you know it. And
Hudson-Odoi right now, you've been whipping in that wonderful cross that he did last night on your right wing, starting on your right wing. Same shit I said.
You have to say this. You have to say this because you're Chelsea ambassador, so it's fine. I get it.
He can't even argue it. Look, he can't even argue it.
You know what's so funny about this? Yeah, we sat on this very show, and I said to you, Hudson-Odoi has similar potential to Jadon Sancho, and so does Pulisic. And as soon as Jadon Sancho comes over here, now suddenly your mouth is shut tight. Like literally nothing to say on the matter. Hudson-Odoi has finally got a string of games at left wing, and he is producing goals and assists. Did you see last night?
This season, but let me tell you this for free.
You can tell me everything for free.
Let me tell you this for free. Jadon Sancho absolutely wipes the floor with Callum Hudson-Odoi.
But he doesn't. Know. And I told you.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
You think he's going to play like this forever? Yeah.
But do you really think that Hudson-Odoi wouldn't do similar to what Jadon Sancho did in the Bundesliga with no injuries?
When he's on the up, we'll revisit. He's got a better brain than Callum Hudson-Odoi.
How many brothers have to come from the Bundesliga and see their numbers fall through the roof to get it? How many?
We'll revisit. It's down. It's cool. Kick a man while he's down.
I'm not kicking anybody while he's down because I rate Sancho. But you don't rate Hudson-Odoi. That's what your problem is. You don't rate my brother. You're gonna get to learn.
In all your insults now, please. I'm
not crapping on Sancho. You're crapping on Hudson-Odoi. That's your problem.
When he's playing to his true capacity, we're gonna speak.
Okay, well now you're starting to see Hudson-Odoi play a string of games at left wing, and you're seeing impact.
But I don't think, but I've never said Hudson-Odoi is a bad player. So what?
You didn't again. But you thought because Jadon Sancho was putting up numbers in Bundesliga, you got overly gassed with the Bundesliga numbers, and you didn't feel like
he's a better player than Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Again, you're gonna get to see that the potential is very similar. You're gonna get to see it. I've told you already. You're going to get to see it. Who's the better crosser of the ball? You're going to get to see it.
Who's the better passer?
Again, you're gonna get to see it. It's not as the margin is not as wide as you think it is. The margin is not as wide as you think it is. And now that you've come, you Premier League, and they're not open, and the defense is not opening their legs, you're gonna start to see it. I told you already. The potential was very close. And you didn't listen to me.
I'm sorry,
but you're not watching.
Let me guess. Pulisic is a better passer than him as well.
No, Pulisic is not a better passer than him. Pulisic can't pass.
Okay.
Pulisic head down and run.
Pulisic is a better finisher than him as well.
Pulisic's not a crosser. Pulisic don't pass like that. Pulisic's
Why?
a dribbler.
I'm
the winger chat.
He's a dribbler. He's a dribbler. He's a completely different type of winger. But Callum Hudson-Odoi's profile next to Jadon Sancho, you're gonna get to see it. I told you.
All right.
And I'm not backing down on this point because you, man, all of you absolutely rinsed Hudson-Odoi on this show. And I told you,
I said
you have not seen him play. Imagine putting Jadon Sancho. Imagine Ollie putting Jadon Sancho at right wing back in that Manchester United team.
Imagine demon who doesn't skin players.
Imagine. And what's Jadon Sancho skinning right now? He's sitting next to Van der Beek on the bench.
Yeah.
Practicing handshakes.
And skinning up.
Practicing handshakes.
That's all he's doing, bro.
If Jadon Sancho starts at right wing back, what's going to happen? You're judging Hudson-Odoi of very limited.
Why are we talking about Hudson-Odoi
in his actual position? I told you this.
Listen, you, yeah.
What?
I've never once called Hudson-Odoi a bad player.
No, don't call back to the Hudson-Odoi hype now. You don't belong here because I told you. And even Gareth Bale, that golfer, you wanted to put the golfer ahead.
You said.
What's Gareth Bale doing this season?
This guy's a 1v1 demon and he's better than Sancho.
What is Gareth Bale doing this season? What's he doing this season?
Off what, bro?
What's Gareth Bale doing this season?
Bro.
I know it's a long day. It's a long day indeed. Everything's gone wrong over there, isn't it? What's Gareth Bale doing right now?
Matisse, you cannot seriously believe Callum Hudson-Odoi is a better player than Gareth Bale. You just
listen. I told you.
I
said trajectory. When I had this argument with you, who would you take? Callum Hudson. Let me ask you this question: Who do you think Conte?
Stop, please.
Who do you think Conte would rather in his squad, Gareth Bale or Hudson-Odoi right now?
Probably
Gareth Bale because he takes pensioners all the time.
Yeah. He had actually.
That's a bad comparison, but I get what you're saying. And to be fair, when you asked the question about Hudson-Odoi and Bale, me and Toby, and I don't know, I can't remember Corey, but me and Toby definitely said we'd take Bale.
Trajectory. There's only one way.
But now on this season, it ain't Bale. That doesn't mean he's a better player, Hudson-Odoi. It just means on this season he's getting a run of games now, and Bale's doing up bench, bro. Like I don't even think he's on bench. He's scoring Andalusia as we speak.
How old is Callum Hudson-Odoi now? By the way,
20 years old.
20 years old. Cool. So he's a good Callum Hudson-Odoi, good prospect. How old was Gareth Bale when he was doing the madness?
No, I'm talking about Gareth Bale today. That was the argument.
Okay, and I'm talking
Hudson-Odoi's trajectory.
I'm talking Gareth Bale today. Is he a better shooter than Gareth Bale? No. Is he a better?
I didn't say he was a better player. I said trajectory.
Okay, cool. So if he's a better player, tell me how he's a better player. Is he a better shooter? No. Is he a better crosser? No. Is he a better passer? No. Is he a better dribbler? No.
I said
so. How exactly is he better than Gareth Bale?
I didn't say he was a better player. I said I would rather Hudson-Odoi because of the trajectory.
No. You said he was better. You said he was better than Gareth Bale.
He's better for your team. Yeah, he would be better for your team than Gareth Bale.
If he's better than Gareth Bale, tell me what he does
for your team. For your team, he would have been better.
Bro, stop doing this for your team.
No, that's what I said. You can go back and roll the tape. I said for your team, he would have been better.
It's a simple question, bro. What does he do better than Gareth Bale if he's better?
Your team, he would have been
better. Bro, stop telling me your team bullshit. Take both players in isolation. What does he do better than Gareth Bale? Tell me, what does he do better than Gareth Bale? What does he do better than Gareth Bale?
Right now, his crossing's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Tell me, what does he do better than Gareth Bale?
Defensively, he's gonna be 10 times better. Balance is out your team. I'm telling you this right now.
They're both wingers, but you're telling me about defending.
And Bale was hella inconsistent as well.
This conversation's over, bro.
Hella inconsistent.
This conversation is done. From time you're talking to me about defending, the combo is done. Let's move on. The combo is done. It's finished. You can't tell me why he's better than Gareth Bale.
You're crazy. Pressing from the front. You're gonna soon see it.
As I said, answer my question. You put this conversation on Cho and Sancho. Answer my question, bro.
You're gonna soon see. You're gonna soon see.
As a winger, you can't give me one outstanding attribute that Callum Hudson-Odoi has over Gareth Bale, but yet he's better. That doesn't
I
make
said
sense.
he would have been better for your team.
doesn't make
Gareth Bale, again, once again, the better player is not always the better fit for the team. You can put Adel Taarabt in certain teams with his ability. It doesn't mean he's going to do the business.
I don't give a shit.
Hold on. How inconsistent was Gareth Bale last season until he had a couple of months of scoring goals towards the back end of the season where he put us in the top four?
Gareth Bale stunk out.
How inconsistent was he?
Gareth Bale stunk out the joint last year.
Right then. So it's not always about the better player, is it? On ability.
Gareth Bale stunk out the joint last year for probably about 65% of the season for Spurs. I promise you, if Callum Hudson-Odoi was in our team, he is not winning us the games that Gareth Bale's winning us. Impossible.
Okay, but over the course of the season, he probably would have been more consistent.
Impossible. Because why? He's not good enough, bro. It's not that
Callum Hudson-Odoi is not good enough. I'm not going to lie.
The levels are different, bro. So again, I'm going to ask you, Matisse. Again, I'm going to ask you. What makes Callum Hudson-Odoi a better player than Gareth Bale?
Ben Arthur is another classic example. Someone who's
you're now
technically better than so many players.
That's what you're doing.
But I'm just going by your logic. I'm just going by your logic.
That's what you're doing now.
Are you taking Gareth Bale back right now?
Hey.
Are you taking
Gareth Bale in a heartbeat right now? Look at our
your standards on the floor.
To be fair, Gareth Bale's only played 3 games this season and scored 1 goal. Hudson-Odoi's played 10 and scored 1 goal.
Yeah,
I'm not talking. Again, Lee.
It's the fit for Tottenham. I get what you're saying. It's the fit, and you said that at the time. It's the fit for Tottenham, Hudson-Odoi or Bale. We all said Bale, yeah. But to be fair, Bale, although he weren't great when he came back, he still bagged goals.
He scored 16 goals.
Again, who did he bag goals against?
It doesn't matter. Do they not count?
No, it does, because when Hudson-Odoi is performing against Norwich and Malmo, you've got question marks, and he's 20. But when Gareth Bale, at the peak of his powers, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is performing against Sheffield United and Burnley, suddenly you want to have a wank about it. You're talking about stat padding. That's what you're talking about. Did he perform against Manchester United? Did he perform against Chelsea? Did he perform against Arsenal? No, and fuck no. Don't inflate Gareth Bale to these ridiculous heights because he decided to stat pad against relegation teams. You want to relax. You want to relax about that. You want to be relaxing about that. Because I remember you cussing Gareth Bale off for most of the season saying, oh, we've wasted the money. Look at the wages we're paying for this guy. And he's on golfing with fucking time. And now suddenly you're backing him to the end. You need to relax on that.
I've already said Gareth Bale didn't perform to his full capacity. And he still bagged 16 goals in 34 appearances.
And half of those, and most of those goals were against Microsoft Excel and Sheffield United. Put it into context. It's the same shit. It's the same shit Lee does when he talks about Pepe stats, and half of them were against Europa League opposition.
Even gave us half of that. We'd be saying, "Oh yeah, he's decent."
You're just talking about a Welsh older version of Nicolas Pepe. That's what you're doing. You're just talking about a Welsh older version of Nicolas Pepe. That's what you're doing.
I don't even know why I'm continuing this.
That's what you're doing.
This conversation. From the time you mentioned Ben Arthur, I should have cancelled.
Pepe. This is basically Pepe with a golfing addiction.
The Bale's goals up, by the way, for last season. Yeah, listen to the teams he scored against. To be fair, right?
Oh, go on, Lee. Fuck it. Pull it up. I dare you. Pull it up.
Right, he scored 2 against Leicester. That's kind of an achievement because Leicester were pretty good last season. Yeah, he got a hat trick against Sheffield United, 1 against Southampton. 2 against Palace, 2 against Burnley, and that's it. And then, I'm lying. No, I'm lying. He got 1 against Brighton, 1 against Brighton, 1 against Lask. I thought that was a trainer brand. He got 1 against Wolfsberger. I thought there was only 1 Wolfsberg in Germany, but there's another one called Wolfsberger, and that's it.
Okay. So.
And he scored a hat trick against Belarus.
So what? I'm asking who the better player is.
No, to be fair, Gareth Bale's one of the best players I've seen. When he was on,
you paid someone 300 grand a week to do that. Oh, you fuck me.
Yeah. He took us for idiot. Yeah.
He used you as a gym pass. And it works.
He still scored more goals than any of your players.
They gave him a golf membership. They gave him a golf membership. Golf courses in
These are the statistics.
What are you talking about?
Who's your top scorer last season?
No, I don't care. I finished.
Oh yeah, of course you don't know. You don't care.
Yeah,
he doesn't care.
I don't.
There you go.
I don't care.
There you go. So are we actually going to talk football here? You're going to keep talking about
we're going to move on. We're gonna move on. I'm just saying this. We'll see what happens at the end of the season with statistics. I'm just saying.
By your logic, he's better than Hazard as well.
I'm just saying. Pulisic has more goal contributions.
He's better than Hazard.
007 agent, isn't it? So it's all mad.
Is Callum Hudson-Odoi better than Hazard?
No, of course not.
Why is he not?
Because Hazard actually performed against top teams. Are you comparing Bale just now at Tottenham versus Hazard?
No, I'm comparing Bale just now at Tottenham to Hazard at Madrid.
Hazard's not doing anything. I would rather keep.
Okay, so that's my point.
Toby, do you want me to go and say it? Do you want me to 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 say it?
So therefore,
do you want me to say it?
Is he better than Hazard?
Do you want me to say it? I would rather have. I know who the better player is. I just said that to you about Bale. I would rather have Hudson-Odoi than Hazard. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Super chat. Callum Hudson-Odoi would start for Tottenham at right wing. Of course he would. We fucking have a moron in Lucas Moura, and we have
this
zero goals. He wouldn't have started last season.
I would rather have Hudson-Odoi in this squad than Hazard. Yes, of course I would. I don't want Hazard back because I know Hazard don't play games. He's injured all the time. I don't get people who are seeing players that are gone off the other side of the cliff, don't play football, are injury prone, don't put up the numbers anymore, but because they're still thinking about past times when he would run in against fucking Maicon against Inter Milan and Hazard was doing up shit against Arsenal. We're still bringing those thoughts and memories into the current time. It's 2021.
I'm talking about current.
Currently, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Gareth Bale in his current state is still a better player than Callum Hudson-Odoi. You can argue it, you can deny it, you can do anything you want, but if you break down the facets of what makes a winger good, Callum Hudson-Odoi is not beating Gareth Bale in a lot of these categories, and you know it as well. The thing is, you know it because when I asked you, you had no answer, but all you want to say is, "Oh, he's a better fit right now." So let's move on.
There's a great comment in there from a guy called Hamco. He says Bowen is clear of them both.
That is true.
It is true.
Yeah.
I mean, Corey, talk to us about West Ham, man. You're on some ridiculous run right now. What is going on?
Don't know really, mate. To be honest, it's been a bit mad for like 18 months now. So yeah. I mean, Villa, I thought was a game where we had to really win, given that we've got Liverpool on Sunday, and I didn't think, the times in that game we were brilliant either. And that's kind of the test of West Ham so far, particularly under David Moyes. And they pressed us, and it made me feel slightly ill because we started to panic and we didn't expect it. But the quality we've got going forward in terms of Antonio, Fornals, Bowen's been immense, actually, to be fair, probably in the last, I think he's got 6 goal involvements in 8 games now. And he just seems to be getting better and better. So he's coming to the fore and we're looking brilliant. And Declan Rice at the minute is arguably on form one of the best midfielders in the league. He's absolutely bossing it to the point where he can do no wrong. And obviously when he starts adding goals to his game, then people will start going, hang on a minute, he's a serious player. So it's all clicking. Ben Johnson's coming at right back. He's been spot on. Again, spot on against Aston Villa. Didn't put a foot wrong, got a goal. And then we've got Europa League tomorrow. So we'll rotate. If we win that, I think we win the group. So for me, we've got to go and win that game so we can rotate in the next 2. Because December, in terms of us trying to compete, and people have started mentioning us for top 4, it's way too early. It's way too, even with the form and even how well we're playing, I've got to see it after 20 games to even consider it. But the manner of the wins, we were resolute against Spurs. We nullified them. Granted, they've got no creativity whatsoever. Everton was exactly the same. They're poor. But Villa, we ran away with it when we can counter-attack on teams. So I think Moyes has got the balance now between, again, being resolute at times versus using the counter-attack, playing up in possession. He's a top coach and he does deserve a lot of credit. And obviously, when you're mentioning Conte and Tuchel, they're completely different stratosphere. But I think Moyes, when you look at the next bracket down, I think he's in there, definitely. So it's all clicking. It just depends how we manage Europe, get the international break, and then December, and then we'll see where we're at. But he's taken every cup competition seriously, which has been massive for us as well. We obviously beat City last week. Toby didn't think we would do it, and neither did I, to be fair. But again, we managed to pull it off somehow on pens. And then we just keep rolling. And I think that mentality thing as well, playing bigger teams, it doesn't seem to be there this season. We seem to be willing to take people on. So, yeah, it's all good. No complaints. Get a couple of signings in, like I said earlier. And I think that's mad. And he wants a striker as well. He has actually come out. It's the first time he said after Villa, and West Ham have been dying for a second striker. First time he said, Antonio's not a striker. What a weird thing to say when you've given the guy the number 9, how many goals he's got this season, how many assists he's got to go. He's not a striker.
He's right though, isn't he?
He is right, but Moyes is very He's very clever with how he deals with our board. He won't say things, and then he'll say things when he wants something to happen. And obviously, we've got that Czech investor on the side. He's obviously saying to him, get me Lingard for starters. Apparently, he wants to come back to West Ham, obviously. And get me another striker. And get a Belotti or get somebody in like that can fit in a similar mould. And then we'll see. But there's signings to be made. Belotti could be on a free next summer. Lingard will be on cheap deal as well. So, yeah.
The 18 months you lot have had has been mad. Like literally, or it's nearly 2 years now, isn't it? But you were in relegation battle, and now you're sat fourth, and in Europe, it's mad.
To be fair, I do need to sit down. I need to sit down one day and look at some of when he first come into the club versus what we look like now. Because I reckon if you showed that to anybody, you'd say that's not the same team. And yet, largely speaking, it's the same group of players. Like he brought Bowen and Souček in, so there's been no serious change. But even Lanzini, I don't know if you saw his assist the other day for Bowen. It's just quality. And he was a player that after his ACL was just completely dipped. And he's
you were wicked in that second half against them. You were just so ruthless in that second half, man. Like as soon as they got, I don't think it was a red card. Yeah, like he made it. I don't think that was a red card. He made a meal of it. Like he hardly touched him. I think a foul and a yellow would have been fine. I don't think that was a red. And
but in the context, though, it's a goal scoring opportunity. So if the refs are going to be consistent,
maybe.
Irrespective, Courtney Hall should have got sent off because he basically assaulted Fornals.
See, I don't think that was even a yellow.
I stonewall.
No, do you know why? Let me explain why. Do you know why? Because he's gone to stand, like he's gone in and he's gone to put his leg to try and block him, and body that, like, so he run into the back of him. As he's done that, his arms come round. I think he knew what he was doing, but his arms come round because you go to jump in front of someone with your arms, and he's just forearms smack. I mean, it looked fucking horrible. Yeah, but I don't think that was intentional. I think he kind of knew if I get my arm in the way, then he's going to run into it. But I think he went for the ball, and because who was it that fucking got forearmed? What's his name?
Fornals.
Yeah. He got a slight touch on the ball as Courtney House went to do that, and then it bounced off of Courtney House's foot and spooned off. If he hadn't got that touch on it, he would have won the ball. Yeah, and it was like, then it's not a foul, is it? Or is it a foul? I don't know. The rules are so fucking backwards these days. I don't think that was a red at all, man.
I've never seen. I know you put together a compelling argument, but having said all of that, I still think I've never seen a guy go into a tackle like his arms up here. And I'm thinking he's not looking at the ball, nothing. And he's clocked him. He's absolutely clocked him. Because if he was clever, right, let's play devil's advocate, and he wants to put his body between Fornals and the ball. He's a big guy, Courtney Hills. There's no way Fornals is getting past him. He's just shielded. But the fact his elbow's up here, it hasn't helped him. And he's clocked him. I think it's a straight red. I think it's a stone wall. I think either or would have got sent off. So
I was thinking that same. I really was. I think they got away with it there not to have two red cards because they're both red. They're both red cards. I don't know if the rules are. You go back to the previous foul or the most recent one.
This is the thing. People were bringing this up. They were saying that sometimes with VAR you can have two incidents that are possible red cards in the same situation, but you'll only pick one. And in which case the ref's got to be consistent. Because I reckon the ref, to be fair, would never have given two red cards at Villa Park. Can you imagine with 9 men? We would have just torn them to shreds. Yeah. So I think, but then you can't negate one and then go for the other. It's got to be the whole thing. We've seen Laporte. I think it was Johnny Evans as well. You got to be consistent with it. Like I don't mind what the rule is, but I just want some kind of. It didn't matter to me because either all should have got sent off. But in that movement, by the way, Fornals getting the touch, Bowen getting the touch. That is West Ham last season. That's West Ham at their best on the counter. Bodies forward with.
Oh, you were devastating, man. I watched that game, and Ollie Watkins should have made it 2-2. Mate, he's fucking brilliant, Watkins. Such a good player, right? And but then after that, you were so devastating down the wings, man. And that was one of the best games I've seen Declan Rice play. He was fantastic in that game, man.
Yeah, he was
really good. But that Fornals is underrated, man. Like every time I've watched West Ham, I watch them quite a lot because they're quite good to watch. And I like watching good football because we're shit. So it's nice to watch nice, pretty football. And every time I've watched it, Fornals has been brilliant. Every game. Mate, I've not watched him like you do, but
yeah, he's one of the most underrated players, I think, for us. And it took us a while to get used to him because he would come in as a 10. But the work rate, the pressing, how important and you see the first 20 minutes in that game, how high West Ham were. And I was like, Moyes is going to go with this, but it's going to leave us vulnerable. And eventually Villa had to respond. And then they started pressing, they got into it. And we struggled because this is the thing about Moyes. This is what I say. We play two different ways. We never come out the same way every single week. He'll change it. Like, I guarantee Liverpool, he'll either go to a low block or he'll fancy himself and go 3 up top, out of possession, and try and put pressure on a centre-back. I doubt it, but he could do it. I'll tell you the biggest influence in that game was Lanzini when he come on. Because Lanzini is so clever on the ball. He'll drop deep, even in his involvement in the goal. He's such a technically fantastic player. And even though he's not the old Lanzini. When he come in, he was
the old Lanzini was ridiculous.
Completely different player. But this is what I'm saying. Look how many players have come in. Ben Johnson, Lanzini, players that people don't really...
His goal was good. It was funny because last week I said, he's good. He's a good right back, but he can't cross a ball or score or something. I said, didn't I? And then fucking he went and scored.
I know. I said that as well, mate. I said that in my preview as well. I said he just needs to improve on his end product, and then we've got a serious player. But his interceptions are up there with Dex already in 5 games. So what you want from your right back is to be defensive. And as long as he's getting in the right areas, high and wide, it will improve. He's 20 years old, mate. He's so young. He's mustard.
I have to ask as well, what dynamic do you prefer? Do you prefer the Souček going forward and Declan sitting back, or do you prefer Declan getting forward and Souček sitting back? Because I think it's incredible that you've got 2 midfielders that can do both and have both shown their capabilities in both roles and have been effective in both roles. And I'm wondering now which one is the better combination, this one or last season?
I think it's Dec in the 6 and Souček in the 8, if I'm honest. I just think it works perfectly. Well, look, the thing is with Declan, he's obviously sat down with Moyes and he said, I want to get further forward. I can play further forward. And you see the stats, progressive carries, final third passes. He's been absolutely excellent. He's shown real quality. But Souček struggles in a deep line midfield role to deal with pressure. And he has improved because we've gone back to that dynamic. You've got to free him up to go and press. He's got to go and get the turnover. Dec can support him, depending on the formation. But he has got to be the guy that gets the freedom. And you've got to give him the freedom to get in the box. The one thing we lack, actually, is a bit of aerial threat. So from that point of view, if we are getting crosses in, Souček's got to be making the run. And it causes teams havoc because although you don't see it, and I know Souček isn't scoring at the minute, and it is probably a bit frustrating for him, you're still creating the overload all the time. Every game I go to with West Ham, last 10 minutes before they go in, they practice the same overload again and again and again. 4 players in the box, different movements, different positions. So Souček's a huge part of that. And it's difficult to mark. But as good as Dec is, as good as he is, and he could play number 8 for me, we need him in number 6 because it just works. And I
think Rice has got a better long-range shot and better striking of the ball. But Souček is definitely the better output for goals. Yeah, and then you obviously watch West Ham more than we do. Yeah, every time I watch Souček, he's always there, man. Like, he's just there. And it's like he's always unmarked. He should have scored against Villa. And it's like, it's just always in the box unmarked. And it's like, how the fuck are you just letting this guy run off you all the time? Like, it doesn't matter what team. Yeah. Every team he plays against, he gets a header in the box.
Do you know who else you lot will like this? Kurt Zouma. Magnificent.
Yeah. Unbelievable, isn't he?
He's brilliant. He's absolutely fantastic.
Does the business. And this is why I was so offended with the transfer fees that were being offered. I was like, this guy is a proper centre-back. Like, he might not... he might have a couple issues in his game that need fixing. I'm sure David Moyes will probably fix those, to be honest. But like, in terms of just in this division, a proper centre back that you can rely upon in 80-90% of games, then he's solid. He's brilliant.
Do you know what I love about him as well is sometimes people look at blocks and they don't. I think with Zouma, people say he's not an intelligent defender because he can't play out from the back. And maybe there is a question mark in terms of him in possession. But some of the blocks he makes, how he reads the game, and also his athleticism to get to the ball. I think Everton could have drawn against us. And he was just there out of nowhere. And it would have gone in. And he does it but the thing is, all I said last season was Ogbonna needs someone alongside him. Not Craig Dawson, not Diop. He needs a proper player that can go and press, win the ball, and we can feel comfortable going forward. And the balance of the team, it's all about balance, isn't it, really, when you look at football teams? And
Rance made a great point when I was on with him on Monday about Moyes and West Ham. And he said, basically, you're Everton under Moyes. You're now Everton because he made them tough to beat. They scored goals. They had the Fellaini as the focal point in the box, winning headers and stuff like that. And that's now your Souček. They had a striker up front, which is Antonio in this case. And it was like they were difficult to beat, Everton. They were always in and around European spots. Yeah, and he's done that with you. Yeah,
I think we're better than that. Everton were brilliant.
I think you play better football. I think you definitely play better football. Yeah, but I think the point that he was making is like Everton under Moyes. Like, you look at their team, they really shouldn't have been up there challenging for top 4 spot every season or top 6 or whatever. Yeah, and it's like West Ham. Really, let's be real. Yeah, I know you've got a fantastic little squad going on there, right? Because squad depth is the problem for you lot. If you lose a couple of players like Declan Rice or Antonio, you're kind of fucked. Yeah, but I think it's a good point because I don't see you dropping below 6th this season unless you go real deep in that Europa conference. Sorry, no, you're in Europa. That's his lot. That's his lot.
Yeah, that's his. Yeah, that's not us.
And if you get a couple of injuries, then yeah, you could fall away. But I just don't think you will. Like, I think he's got them rocking at the minute, and the confidence is so high. But you have got Liverpool this weekend, man, and that's going to be a big test. If you get through that Liverpool game without losing, yeah, that's a result.
Well, Liverpool are conceding goals right now. They really are. You know, I watched them against Atletico Madrid a couple of weeks ago. They were open. They had a moment of chaos for like 10 minutes.
Breezing sent off and changed the game, really, didn't it?
Brentford, they conceded 3. They obviously conceded goals at the weekend. So I think the way that you guys transition, and this is why I wanted and I want Jesse Lingard to make that move to West Ham and leave Manchester United, because the way West Ham can play sometimes on transition suits Jesse Lingard down to a T. And you look at just the overall vibe and the feel of the way that West Ham are as a club. I think Declan Rice is probably the perfect captain. Like, I know Mark Noble has obviously got a special place in you guys' hearts, but just the charisma. I feel like Declan Rice is like the modern day captain for West Ham now. Like, the charisma that he has behind the scenes, you can see that he'll group people together. You know, no one's going to get isolated. And Jesse Lingard kind of fits that mold. I think Jesse Lingard plays his best football when he's happy and he's playing constantly and he feels like he's an important member of the team. And when he was at West Ham, he was constantly almost like the way better version of Joe Willock at Newcastle. He was in transition. He was taking advantage of making those runs. Declan Rice and Souček did the work behind him, and he was just able to just play free. And anytime they had a bit of space to move up the field, he would take advantage of it, and he would even go on those solo runs and score. Jesse Lingard has got to get his arse back to West Ham as soon as possible, because I think Jesse Lingard needs West Ham more than West Ham need Jesse Lingard, because West Ham can find someone else. Jesse Lingard, like, you need to get your arse back over there ASAP. Really do.
It's interesting because I wonder whether he obviously made a decision to stay at Man United and probably pulled on his heartstrings a little bit, but I just wonder whether he's looking at West Ham and thinking they've gone to another level. And like you said, you've hit it bang on the head regarding his movement in transitions. How he finds the space as well between the lines, he's very good at. He's so ineffective when he drops deep. But for me, where he was so good for us is when he kept running in beyond Antonio. We need that in that transition. We need it in that overload. That's why he complements us so well. And on the point of squad depth, just having a player like that in Europe and in different games with different looks, people will go, why do you need 5 different attacking midfielders? Vlasic we bought for 30 mil, he hasn't played. You genuinely do. Different games, different game plans, and he can play false 9. And I think if we don't bring a striker in, and I genuinely hope we do, and we've got some serious attacking options, if we don't, I think I would rather him play false 9 and Bowen play on the right in his natural position, because I think he's got that ability to do it. But it depends, mate, on the fee. It depends on the fee. I still think if he's going for free in 6 months, why would you pay £10 million? United will have to concede something. If it's like a 5 mil or whatever, I think 5. I'd love him back. Mate, if he come back to the club, can you imagine the buzz? Imagine the buzz if we're still where we're at now. It'd be...
And not only that, he can play as like a false 9 as well. So if you do get Antonio out injured, he can play as false 9.
That's what I'm saying.
I know he's not a hold-up play, but he'll run the channels, and he's deceptively quick as well.
Brilliant on the ball. He's intelligent.
Yeah, he is very technically good, man.
Yeah.
Sick player, man.
Can I
just say this? Sorry, can I just say this as well? There's a bit of breaking news, yeah. Unai Emery is staying at Villarreal.
Oh, he was linked to Newcastle, yeah.
Put a statement out. I'll read it, yeah.
Wow.
El Villarreal es mi casa y estoy comprometido. I'm not going to read it in Spanish.
Show off.
I can't. My Spanish is shit, but I can read it. Okay. I just can't I'll probably butcher some of them words. I could read the whole thing. I can actually understand, looking at words more than I can actually say. But this is basically saying, I've decided to stay at Villarreal as my home, and I 100% trust the project. Fucking project. I'm proud of Newcastle interest, but I'm super happy with the club, the Roig family, the fans, and the players. See you soon in our stadium. They won again last night, man. And they're top scorers in that group. And they've got Atalanta in that group, Man United. It's fucking mad. And they've got the best defense in that group. It's crazy, man. He's a fucking good manager, man. I thought, if he goes to Newcastle, he'll do well. But it's you don't want to go Newcastle as the first manager in, do you, under this new regime?
I think it's a little, it's a bit
Eddie
of a
Howe
daunting
all
task
over it.
because
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Newcastle have a really bad team. Like they really do. Outside of Wilson, maybe you can say Willock if you can get him playing the role that he played last season. Maybe Lewis at left back. They barely played him because they've been playing Richie. Obviously, they signed Jamal Lewis from Norwich for like £14 million. He's meant to be a decent potential on him. And that's about it. Like, you know, the rest of them is very much a championship team. You know, Hayden, Longstaff, Clark, all these guys. So I think whoever goes in there, they're going to need a serious injection in the January window, and it's going to be interesting because I think a lot of teams like that, Tottenham needed an injection in January.
January window could be a busy one, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a busy January. So especially now that fans are back, maybe revenue's gone up because the summer, not everybody got to really.
Mate, Arsenal are charging £7 a pint, mate. Yeah, before lockdown it was £5.50. Yeah, like for a 250 ml red wine is £11.
Jesus Christ!
Like, someone's got to pay for Ben White, mate. Someone's got to pay.
Oh,
for
do you know what I mean?
It's going to be the fans, isn't it? Really.
I actually haven't had too much time to talk on Chelsea, and well, we did, I guess, but massive praise to Chilwell and Reece James. A lot of people been saying in the chat they're producing
goals, man.
Serious output for us.
Seriously, the goals he scored at Newcastle were taking the piss. The second one I thought was better than the first one because he just slapped that, and it was like a dart, brother. It was like pum. And it's like you could so easily slice them, innit, and shank them. Yeah, and he caught that so sweet, man. Both of them he caught sweet, but I thought the second one was better. Yeah,
no, he's honestly like in terms of balance between defense and attack. I think he's honestly brilliant. He's for me that's why for me he's. In terms of like having balance between defense and attack, he's probably the best young right back. And then obviously Trent going forward is just in another world. But defensively, Trent needs to be looked after sometimes by Van Dijk. So that's why I always said Reece James balance wise is ridiculous. You've got to find a way to get him in that England team, even if it is a back three and Trent does play wing back and Reece does play right side centre back. You got to find a way to get him in because he's too good. And yeah, I mean Chilwell is doing the business right now. Ruben had a great performance yesterday. But
sorry, I just hopped in now. I did amidst all the arguments we've had over Chelsea. I actually wanted to give you some praise today, but you wanted to come at my neck anyway. But
have you come back to apologise for your behaviour on this?
No, I'm not apologising for anything. I want Matisse to apologise to me. But anyway, let's talk about the good. Thomas Tuchel is a really sick coach. Like you would think that you're not missing your £100 million striker, Werner, etc. And how many goals you got scored in your past couple games? 3 against Newcastle, 7 against Norwich.
7 against Norwich, yeah. So
terrible.
Padded up a bit.
They're terrible teams, yes, and you should be
terrible
pounding
teams.
them. But like the notion was, you're boring, you don't score goals, etc. So to put 10 past those teams collectively, I think it bodes well, man. A lot of people give Thomas Tuchel stick for being defensive. I almost think that's a good thing because his Dortmund sides were anything but defensive. Yeah, like I feel like now he's grown as a manager to the point where he sets his team well enough so that they're hard to beat because everyone knows if it's a case of finding a fluid way for the team to play. Thomas Tuchel does that in his sleep. He did that
exactly.
So mate, people think that good defending is park the bus football. Yeah, Atletico Madrid gets so much stick. Yeah, you just said a minute ago, Matisse, about that Atletico game against Liverpool. I watched that as well. Yeah, and I actually tweeted when I had a Twitter account. I actually tweeted when Griezmann got sent off. I went, normally teams are supposed to roll over and die against Liverpool and 10 men. I said, watch them fight for everything. I said they might not end up winning it. I said, but watch, they will fight and fight and fight. Yeah, and they slap them at times, man. And it's the same with you lot. You've conceded 3 goals in 10 games. If that carries on all season, that's 11 goals conceded.
Yeah,
I think the stick that Simeone gets though is at times he just goes ultra negative where he doesn't need to. But granted, that performance against Liverpool the other week, they actually they played well. They played well and they created a lot of chances.
And Tuchel as well, right? If you look how many goals you've scored, I worked this out yesterday, right? If you carry on with the averages you've got now, scoring and conceding, you touch 98.8 goals. So say 99 goals if you carry on at the current rate. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. And people will say it's defensive because there's 7 defensive players on the pitch. People get it twisted because they've seen Pep's Barcelona and Wenger's Arsenal and Man United teams, and they think, oh, everything has to be attack. No, there's different ways to win a football match, you know, and there's different ways to score goals. Yeah, your wing backs at the minute, mate, they're on fire, man.
I think with Chilwell, he's always been a good player. Like, I've never really been one of these people to say, oh, he's crap. I don't think he was worth the 50 million, but he's a good player. Like, I don't get why people find it hard to admit that he's a good player. Like, he scored a couple goals for you lot last season. Reece James on the other one as well. Like, the goals that he scored against Newcastle were ridiculous. Like, insane. The finish on his left foot. Oh my god!
Jeez,
like,
bro.
He's always had the tech. Like, you watch him at Wigan, some of the goals he scored for Wigan, the way he could carry the ball and the way he could strike the ball, he's always had the tech. But it's worrying from my perspective that, like, these players that you lot have hyped, some of these players that you lot have hyped up are actually coming into their own. And yeah, Reece James is a player. What I was going to ask you on Reece James is...
He's the best right back in the league, mate. Him and Kyle Walker at the minute are the best two right backs in the league.
Are you talking on form or generally?
Generally. Trent's good, but if you want something different, like, all three of them are the best three right backs in the league.
Toby's not going to take no Trent.
I'm not going to get into this. It's fine.
No, he's not taking no Trent.
Trent's good in the system that Klopp plays, and less defensive responsibility for him. Yeah, but this season defensively, he's actually not been bad. Yeah, but going forward, he's relentless. Yeah, but Kyle Walker's just steady Eddie every single week. Like, he's the best right back in the league, Kyle Walker. But Reece James, I'm telling you, man, Reece James is a top right back.
Yeah, no, he is.
I'm not gonna get into it.
I'm not gonna get into a debate with Trent again.
But what I was gonna ask you, because I speak to a couple of your fans, and they're like, "Oh no, I want Reece as right side centre back." Oh, and then I speak to another one saying, "Oh no, I want Reece at right wing back," but Reece can't play right wing back. Surely he has to play right wing back. Like,
so this is the thing with Reece, is that he won the Champions League at right wing back. He can play right wing back, but sometimes Chelsea need a more attacking option. And I'm not talking about shooting and crossing, because Reece James can shoot and cross. I'm talking about like going 1v1 and taking someone out of the game and being able to dribble and being able to be more dynamic. Like, Reece James is very fluid, great passer, great crosser, great shooter. And if you have triangles, you can play out from those situations. But if you want someone who's just gonna like a Tino Livramento at Southampton, who will just sit someone on their backside and just carry the ball forward and be like an outlet, then that's where he can do that. So I think it would be nice to have the variation. That's what I would say. Like, Reece James in certain games at right wing back, he's going to be fantastic. But certain games, it would be nice to have someone that's an outlet who's a bit quicker, who can dribble and be that guy. So that's why I would prefer to have Livramento. We've got Reece. Livramento doesn't have to play every game, but you can play Reece, or you can move Reece to right side centre back, because Reece at right side centre back is still a brilliant player, and he can still step into midfield and get involved. So it just depends. It's like what Corey was saying about West Ham. It's just nice to have fluidity and be able to change it sometimes, because I think if we don't have someone, all we've got right now is Reece James. Azpilicueta is a bit more conservative as a right wing back, so we would need someone else there going forward long term. Someone just mentioned Alphonso Davies. That's a good example of someone who's going to be an outlet.
I get it. To be fair, because Reece, he ain't like. Let me give you one. Like, a lot of people haven't really mentioned his name because he's had injuries and he's come back into the team. But Ricardo Pereira is a wicked right back, because he can cross, he can shoot, he can use his weak foot, but he can actually take man on. Like, he can dribble. Cancelo can dribble as well. Yeah. Trent's not really a dribbler, but he can. He's not really a dribbler, but like, I still think even with that, like, that's something that Reece James can learn with time. Do you get what I'm saying? The most important thing is that he's actually really good on the ball. Like, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he actually isn't a bad dribbler. Like, he isn't afraid to take people on and stuff, but he is poor on the ball. Like, he can't pass the ball, he can't cross the ball, he can't shoot the ball. Like, I think that's, for me, I don't think that's a big deal. Like, I think you persevere with Reece James at right wing back and focus on what he can offer and let him build on the things that are lacking. And then Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well. We've made our jokes. What was that book? Lubum Loftus-Cheeks.
Lube them Cheeks is what it was.
Every time I've watched him this season, he's looked good. I can't even lie. He's looked really good.
Yeah, no,
He's
he's having a serious effect. Like yesterday, he was man of the match yesterday. I know they gave it to
I watched it.
Jorginho.
Them players were bouncing off him. He was just going past them for backs.
Yeah.
It was like he was playing FIFA Street.
Yeah, no, he was clear. He was honest. So he's been really good since he's been back as well.
So are you back on the hype train?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm not taking a piss. I'm just asking. Are you back on the
No,
hype
no,
train?
I'm not. I'm just enjoying Loftus-Cheek for what he is right now.
Okay.
I think like he's had a great start, and I can't like he's old. Do you know what I mean? He's an old guy. He's like, what is he, 25? So like he's not a youngster anymore. So I do it. I'm not really surprised that he's able to put in these performances. You know, he's coming up to going to be in his prime in a few years. So I'm just happy to see him back, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But for me, Loftus-Cheek has surprised me because I didn't feel like after that Fulham loan, I didn't think he could really break into a Champions League winning midfield. I didn't think he would get the opportunities. I thought he was way too far down the depth scale to really make an impact. But credit to him, he's managed to shake up the joint. And Tuchel didn't mention him as one of the midfielders. He was saying we got Jorginho, we got Conte, we got Kova, and then we've got no one else. And I was like, well, he's definitely not going to play Ruben. Then maybe Ruben just isn't going to be able to get back to it. But to be fair, Ruben's knocked down all the doors and put Saul on the bench. So I've always rated Ruben as a player technically, but I just didn't think he could. I didn't think he was going to get his chance here. I didn't think he was going to.
Yeah, but where do you see him though? Because like he's obviously got the quality to beat players. He beats players for fun.
Yeah.
But he's not. I think he's a decent passer, but I don't think he's got the passing range from deep. Yeah,
this is the thing. Like, this is why I don't take it too far. Like, some people like get carried away and start comparing him to even the Yaya Toure and Pogba.
Impossible.
Like, he's not on that level. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's very great ball carrier, great dribbler, great shielder. He can shoot sometimes, but we haven't seen that yet since he's been back.
Shooting, yeah.
But passing range and shooting, Pogba and Yaya Toure, like that is the next level. So that's why I'm hoping that he gets to that.
So that's what I was going to ask. Like, where do you see him fitting in this team? Like, do you see him playing as part of the three, or like behind the two strikers, or do you see him playing as a CM?
Yeah, in the CM, he needs to come from deep. He press resistant, shield the ball, and then run through the midfield, open up gaps, and then start to like. If you start him higher up, he's waiting to receive it, and that's not where I want him. I want him running and using his dribbling and using kind of what Mateo Kovacic does, just with a bigger frame. Do you know what I mean? To shield the ball and dribble past players. So I want him to definitely to start deep. Like even yesterday, he did put in some really good passes, but in terms of like passing range and quality on Pogba and Yaya Toure, I still feel like he's got a long way to go to get up to that level. But yeah, he's been brilliant. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Arsenal in this show, and I'm not even going to force you to talk about it if you don't want to. This doesn't have to be.
Corey's got to go in it. Have you got to go?
He's got to go.
I don't mind talking if you've got to go. We'll talk. Corey's got to go. So
Corey, I'll let you go, bro. Let him know where to find you. We'll speak on Arsenal.
I'm here. I just need to use the toilet.
At the end, Corey, bro, it's been a brilliant show. Let him know where to find you, Corey. Any content coming up?
Yeah, West Ham Way on YouTube, Corey Kemp _ on Twitter. Loads of things have come out actually recently. Done a Ben Johnson video, done an hour long yesterday on our form in the season so far. Preview out for Genk tomorrow, and then big one on Liverpool. I'm going to the game, so I'm buzzing. It's my birthday on Monday. Got the week off, so there'll be no rush next week for London clubs.
Man.
So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I wish I was 21 again.
Joking, mate. I'm going to be 26, believe it or not. So I know I look 12, but I'm actually not grown up. So. Right.
Big up your damn self. But listen, we'll chat to you next week, and I'm sure you would have collected another W since then, a couple of W's probably.
yeah, fingers crossed. Tottenham in the mud. See you later.
In a bit, bro. Link is in the chat for his channel. Link is in the chat. And I mean, next week it will be international break, and nobody likes that, but we'll be reflecting on the weekend anyway. I mean, bro, Arsenal right now. I mean, me and Toby are pretty resound on Big Six, not pushing the mark. But I think right now, to be fair, Arteta and Arsenal are in the position I expect them to be. They finally got back to where they should be in the league table. What do you make of it all right now?
First time for 1 year and 10 days we have been above 7th.
I knew you'd have a statistic.
Yeah, come on. The process is banged.
That's mad. Fuck me. Is it really been that long?
Yeah, it's 24th of October. last year was the last time we were above 7th. And the thing is, if we win, I think we will beat Watford this weekend. We go 5th, until the other games come in. But yeah, it's interesting because we are playing fairly well at the minute, but I'm just like, we're only doing it for half an hour. You know, against Leicester, we were great for half an hour, and then we just sat back and defended. And we defended great. Don't get it wrong. We defended really well. That goalkeeper made some mad save, man.
Yeah, Ramsdale's really... I'm not going to lie. I was wrong. I was wrong on Ramsdale. Let me put my hands up.
Whoa. Slow down. Rewind.
Slow down?
Yeah, don't say nothing yet.
Don't say nothing. Am I going to jinx it? Ramsdale's world class.
It's not that. It's like, this is where people get so, like, they quickly judge players on a run of form, right? They do. Mate, I've said this on my show yesterday. When Mustafi joined Arsenal, he went 26 games unbeaten from the day he signed.
Yeah.
26 games. Him and Koscielny didn't lose a game in all comps.
Yeah.
When Leno came in, I think he went about 20 games because we dropped Petr Cech. And this is where I look at it logically, right? Rather than just jumping on a hype. He's been brilliant. Yeah, I'm not going to knock him one bit. He has been absolutely breath of fresh air. Right, kicking's just a joke. He was taking the piss at the weekend with some of them kicks, man. It was almost like he'd had a bet with someone and how many different style of kickouts he could do. Like
yeah,
the one
it
where
was mad. I'm not gonna lie,
he just drop kicked it and fizzed it, and it had no backlift. It was like a missile, man.
straight into midfield.
Yeah, I was like, you're taking the fucking piss, right? It is mad, but, and there is a but, right? When Leno came in, Petr Cech was nearly scoring own goals, passing it around the back, right? Nearly putting it out for corners and stuff. So Leno came in and looked like a massive instant upgrade on him.
Yeah.
Right? And for 20 odd games, he looked brilliant and blah, blah, blah. And he made a mad double save against Eriksen at Tottenham, at Wembley. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's save of the season. This is the goalkeeper we've needed. This is this and this is that. He's fucking useless, Leno. And I've told everyone for time he's useless. He kept punching everything into the net last season, right? And again, this season he was doing it, right? So this goalkeeper's come in, and it's almost like what Leno did to Petr Cech. Yeah. Because he's taking it up a level from where we were with the goalkeeper we had in Leno, and obviously with Cech. So it's like, he's been absolutely superb. I'm not going to knock him, but I'm not going to go, yep, I'm wrong just yet. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to see for another 10 games, another 15 games, because I want to see if he makes an error and how he recovers from that. Because at the moment, he ain't really made any mistakes. He made one in the Leicester game where that was the only bad kick he did. And then CHO nearly scored. And he made a worldy save from that. So he redeemed that error. But it's like, if he makes an error that leads to a goal, how do you kick on from that? So it's to be fair, since he signed for Arsenal, he has been our best player in that whole squad. Right, he's been superb, man. Absolutely superb. He gets involved with the fans. He was saying, when they do that fucking... I
seen, they go to... They started jeering him, isn't it?
Oh, shit. From the kick, yeah. He fucking joined in. And then he's turning around and all that to the fan. I'm like, fucking this geezer's on it. Yeah, and it's like, it's nice to see that because a lot of these players, they don't get involved with the fans enough. And he's taken to it like a duck to water, man. He's been absolutely quality. But again... I've seen quality with Leno coming in for Cech and how that's ended up. I see quality with Mustafi going 26 unbeaten when he came in and that went tits up. I've seen Xhaka go on 8-9 games straight where he's been 7-8 out of 10. Yeah, and then that's gone tits up. So it's like, I'll see where we're at with him in February, March, April, May, and then going into next season. But right now, mate, he's been 10 out of 10. I gave him 10 out of 10 on the player ratings for that game. Lacazette, he was brilliant as well. Yeah, I can't believe he got subbed in that game. Right, it was like, why are you subbing him? Even he looked pissed when he came off. Like,
he's run out of contracts, isn't he?
Yeah, in the summer he's out of contract. Aubameyang's only got 18 months left. So it's
would you let that play its course though, and then refreshen it with some younger guys up front?
I'd bin them both.
Bin them, yeah.
Yeah, go and get Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins. Put them both together, man.
Really?
Yeah, go and get them both. Go and get them both.
Come on. Neither are better than Aubameyang.
But they're not gonna put you in the top
hold
four.
Hold on. Tell me what Aubameyang's good at. Just tell me. Like, honestly, in your opinion, what do you think Aubameyang's good at?
He's a way better finisher than both.
Okay, finish him. Okay. Anything else?
That's a big part of a striker.
Yeah, but he's playing left wing.
He still score more goals than them.
Yeah, but look at the team they're playing in. One plays at Brentford, yeah, right, and the other one plays at Aston Villa, who are very badly struggling this season, right? So the only attribute Aubameyang's got better than both of them two is finishing, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Okay, well, if he ain't finishing because he's on the wing, then what's the offer? Nothing. Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney run the channels. They'll back into you. They can play with their back to goal. They can run in behind. They'll work hard. They'll get back. They have actually got pace. Aubameyang ain't anymore. He got caught up by Grant Hanley the other week. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this geezer's fucking fatter than Harry Maguire. Like, do you know what I mean? He's like a fridge, bro. Yeah, right.
Aubameyang's a better striker.
I'm not being fattest or anything. I'm just saying he's got a bit of puppy fat on him. You know what I mean? Yeah, but yeah, and I just look at it and I think Ivan Toney. Yeah, if you look at his movement in a penalty box, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, Ollie Watkins is not as good as Ivan Toney, but I think if we was to go and buy both of them, they'd cost what? I think Villa paid 32. So if we said say 40 on both, 80 million quid.
You really think that's going to put you in the top 4 though?
No. It won't.
Well, it depends. We ain't getting top 4 ever with this manager.
This is a good potential someone.
It's just 8 million contract. Just
8 million, you can go and get Osimhen, and he's a better striker than both.
Osimhen's doing very well.
Totally disagree.
He's a better striker than both.
Osimhen's doing very well.
He plays for Napoli. He plays for Napoli, mate, and he went.
Napoli have a good track record of strikers. This is where Cavani came from.
Right, he's doing great stats at the moment in Italy, and he did great stats in France. Yeah, let's be real. That Italian league is fucking shit.
It is.
Right? It is. It is dead. Yeah, it's like the Bundesliga.
What makes Ollie Watkins and even Toney better strikers?
Better strikers than what?
Than Osimhen.
Well, the fact that they're doing it in the Premier League is one. Yeah,
that's snobbery.
Well, it's not snobbery.
We can't do Premier League tax like that.
No, but you can. Okay, I'll give an example. The prime example of that. I can give you loads of examples, right? Loads of examples, right? Shevchenko, banger in Italy, yeah? And that was when Italy was a proper league. Come here, right? Flopped. Falcao, the third best player on the planet. Third best player on the planet, Falcao, flopped. Yeah,
no, Falcao was way over the mark by the time he got here.
He was still bagging 30 goals a season.
He went to Monaco. Falcao ruined his career when he went to Monaco first.
Can I ask a question? So on the Osimhen thing, yeah. So the traits that Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins have, Osimhen has that.
Yeah.
Physically, he's a tank. Like he disrupts centre.
I'm not saying he's a crap player. I'm just saying I'd rather go for them. I think they're a better player.
What I'm saying is he's a better striker than both of them. Because he's a better goal getter and he disrupts defenses just as good as these guys.
Yeah, but he's doing it in a worse league.
So what?
Okay, well, the prime example of that is Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho was ripping it apart. Yeah, I'm not going to get you started again. Yeah. But you have to look at these other leagues. And I'm not a snobby Premier League's the best and all that stuff. Yeah. What I'm saying is that when I see a player that's come from the Championship smashing records, that's come up to the Premier League and absolutely bullying centre-backs every week.
How many goals he got this season?
Irrelevant. He plays for fucking Brentford. Come on.
How's it relevant? How's it relevant?
I'll tell you how many goals he's got. Let me have a look. I'll tell you exactly how many goals. I know he scored the other night. Let me have a look. Ivan Toney this season, Premier League, 2 goals, 2 assists. EFL Cup, 1 game, 1 goal, 1 assist. And in the Championship, he scored 33 goals, 10 assists. So he gets involved in assists as well. Yeah, so he's not just greedy striker. I know a lot of them were penalties. Yeah, but he scored 2 goals and 2 assists this season in 10 games, right? And then in the EFL Cup, 1 game, 1 goal, 1 assist. Yeah, so 3 goals, 3 assists in 11 games. That ain't bad, man. I'm not
saying Toney is bad, but I'm saying you made a point around how your club misspends funds and stuff like that. 80 million on both of them for me is
way
ridiculous.
too much.
Like you can easily just spend like 50, 60 million and get yourself a top end striker.
Like who? Because that geezer ain't costing one. He ain't costing. They paid 70 million quid for him. You think they're sending him for less than that?
Who?
Osimhen, yeah, he did cost Napoli
They
a
paid
lot.
50 million euros. If Arsenal went there and gave them 65, 70 million,
Yeah. You get one player that you hope can do it in the Premier League when you could go and spend another 10, 15 million and get two players that are already doing it in the Premier League.
Okay, it's not about hoping. Lee, you were rating Ivan Toney last year when he was in the Championship.
Yep.
Championship, exactly. So, using your rationale, you saw something in him and you said, no, this guy's actually bagging it up.
His movement in a penalty box is world class.
So then apply the same logic with Osimhen. The guy.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying he's not worth the money when you can go and spend an extra 10, 15 mil and get two players that are already doing it in the Premier League.
Not worth 40 million. I can tell you that for free. Ollie Watkins is not worth 40 million. He isn't. And I like Ollie Watkins. I think he's a decent striker, but he's not a bagsman like that. And neither is and Ivan Toney. It remains to be seen whether he's a bagsman like that at this level. Yeah, they can disrupt defenses, but if you're Arsenal, and
Ollie Watkins this season, by the way, 11 games, 4 goals. Yeah, let's have a look at your boy Osimhen. Yeah, let's have a look at your boy. Try and check this. Let's have a look at your boy. Yeah,
so both Osimhen is a better striker than Watkins.
Okay, so my man this season,
it's not even a competition.
It's not even a.
So my man played 9 games, 5 goals. Yeah, right. Last season he got 10 goals, 3 assists in 24 league games. This season in Europa League, 3 games, 4 goals. Who's he scored these goals against in Europa League? Does anyone know? Let's have a look.
Whoever Pepe scored against last year.
Leicester Spartan Moscow.
This nerd, you know. Right?
Fam, I have to do it.
I swear, Europa League. So he has scored 2 against Leicester. Okay. 1 against Spartak Moscow and 1 against Legia Warsaw. I mean, take out the two Moscow and Warsaw. Leicester, okay, cool, but at the same time, Leicester, well, they're not great at the minute. But you listen, they're a decent Premier League team, so you've got to give credit for that. At Napoli, he's played 42 games, 19 goals, 5 assists. Yeah, at Lille, 38 games, 18 goals, 6 assists. But it's like you're doing 1 in 2. You're doing up 1 in 2 in leagues that are not that great. I always think when you've got a player that's doing up 1 in 2 in a foreign league, right, and they're hitting, say, Pepe numbers and Osimhen numbers, for example, you have to halve that immediately. So if he's scoring 18 goals, because this league is so much tougher to score goals.
The league is tougher to score
because
goals.
The standard of the lesser teams. Look at Brentford. Look at Brentford. Look at Burnley. You know, where's your Brentford and Burnley's in France?
Lee, a bagsman, listen, of course, the league, it takes some adjustment period, but a bagsman is a bagsman. Aubameyang, when he signed for Arsenal, nobody was saying, oh, this guy's going to come and struggle. Everyone knows what
Aubameyang's a different level. He's been doing it for year in, year out, mate. This guy's been doing it for 2 seasons.
Of course, he's a different level. But what I'm saying to you is Osimhen is a bagsman. And he's not just a bagsman who just scores and does nothing. He actually bullies teams. Like
general play.
He's a player.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think he's a quality player.
Alexander Isaac at Real Sociedad. He's a
quality player. He ain't worth 80 million quid, and that's his buyout.
I'm not asking to pay 80 million on Isaac.
Yeah, but he's just signed a new contract. Now it's 80 million.
What I'm asking you is 80 million on Toney and Watkins is a misuse of funds. It is.
No, okay. Let me tell you why it's not, right? Because you just said a minute ago about Pepe, yeah, in the Europa League, and I just said about Osimhen,
I didn't mention anything with Pepe.
No, Matisse did. Right? So Nicola Pepe for 72 million quid, right? Do you seriously think we're going to go and spend 80 or thereabouts to 70 million, whatever it may be, to get Osimhen, which is what he signed from Napoli? They paid 70 mil.
No, right? They paid 50 million euros.
They paid 70 mil.
Nope, they paid 50 million euros.
They paid 7. I'm sure they paid 70.
They paid 50 million.
I'm pretty sure I heard 70 as well.
No, they paid 50 million euros for Osimhen, not 70 million.
Googling this.
Let me take a look. I'm pretty sure it was 70.
Yeah, man.
They paid a lot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat are saying it was. I'm pretty sure they paid a lot of money for him. It wasn't 50, because 50 would have not been eyebrows raising. I remember raising my eyebrows when I saw how much he went for. He went for 64 million pounds.
81.3 million euros.
Yeah, 64 million pounds. So whatever that is in euros, probably 70 million euros. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 81.3 with the add-ons. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, fair enough.
And
Sorry,
the
my
stats
bad.
that you've just given us spot on. Absolutely.
My bad. So,
But this is what I'm saying. For us
But
to now go and get that player, we're looking at around that kind of fee of Nicola Pepe money. Yeah. Are we going to go down that route again? Because most of our fans don't rate Pepe. The managers that have been there, the 3 managers we've had, including Freddie, have not necessarily rated him either. Like they don't play him often enough. Are we going to go and spend £80 million on a guy that played at the same club as Pepe and is now playing for some team in Italy that are the fucking bridesmaids and never the bride? Yeah, and he's posting up good figures against fucking teams. In fact, let me have a look at what teams he scored against.
But again, we're talking about players. Why are you talking about what the team are doing? We're talking about his performance as a player.
Yeah, his performance as a player. And let's see who he scored. Let's see who he scored against this season.
You just said you would rather Arsenal spend 80 million on Ollie Watkins, and
Ivan Toney. Yeah.
Osimhen is better. He's miles better than both.
He's better than both playing in a different league.
Bro, it doesn't matter because he's badding up teams that play in the Premier League. He badded up teams that play in the Champions League.
He's badded up Leicester, who was shit at the start of the season.
Last year. Leicester finished fifth.
Yeah, and they've been last year. What's it?
Ivan Toney,
I'm not having it. Right? He scored 2 against Leicester, and Leicester this season so far have been poor.
Yes, but Leicester have been poor this season, but they're normally a good side.
Okay, so the teams this guy scored against this season, by the way, yeah, right. He got a red card against Genoa, right. He blanked against Venezia. He blanked against Juve. He scored. Hang on, he scored against Udinese. He scored twice against Sampdoria. He scored against Calgary. Yeah, he blanked against Fiorentina. He scored against Torino. He blanked against Roma, and he blanked against Bologna. Yeah, so the teams he's scoring against are the equivalent of fucking Norwich, Burnley.
It doesn't work like that.
Well, it does, because if I look at the league table, all of them teams are fucking dead.
And yeah. But you said Ivan Toney's got 3 goals this season in 11 appearances.
Ivan Toney plays for Brentford, mate.
What's your point?
My point is that's one of the dead teams that Osimhen's scoring against over in Italy.
Yeah, but we're talking about scoring. We're talking about scoring.
My days, seriously. You're hard work. Bro, I swear, this guy. I swear, if ever I actually meet you in person, yeah, right, I swear you are going to drive me insane because I bet you're even worse in person, innit?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the Nigerian in me, but there's no way on earth I can hear you tell me you want to spend 80 million on Watkins and Toney when there are much better strikers out there that you can
like this guy who's stat padding against Udinese and fucking Calgary.
That's not stat padding. He's clearly a really good player. And he's only.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying he's not worth 60-70 million quid.
I must say,
players that are doing it in the Premier League for lesser teams than this guy's doing it for.
Are they really doing it though?
When you're saying he's doing it though, like you got to be putting up numbers though. You got to be putting up numbers.
Are they really
Ollie
doing it?
Watkins last season, 14 goals, 5 assists.
That's average. That's the average Premier League striker.
First season in the Premier League.
Ollie Watkins is not a better striker than Callum Wilson. Ollie Watkins is not a better striker than Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Man said he's not a better striker than Callum Wilson. Are you on crack?
He's not. Ollie Watkins.
What are you eating? What are you chomping on there, mate? Because I don't know what you're eating, but yeah, but that's affecting you.
It's not affecting me. It's not affecting me. Ollie Watkins, he's a decent striker. He's not better than Callum Watkins. He's not better than Danny Ings. He's not better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's not better than Jamie Vardy. He's not even better than Ehi Iheanacho. So when we say these guys are badding it up, yeah, they're smashing the league. Are they really smashing?
Oh dear! Somebody in the chat said, "Check the team."
He had a relatively good return for Aston Villa last year. 14.
What do you mean relatively good? He got a fucking nearly a 1-in-2 goal record for them last season.
But when you look at how.
Right, hang on. Somebody in the chat said, "Check the teams Ollie Watkins scored against." He got a hat-trick at Anfield, mate. How about that? First player in a decade to do that. Yeah.
But Ollie Watkins didn't score in a period for about like 9-10 games. He's not.
Mate, Lacazette went 10 games without a goal when this manager rocked up.
Why are we talking about Lacazette though?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Lacazette?
Because he plays for Arsenal, and I want Watkins at Arsenal. It's the same thing. Watkins is actually an Arsenal fan, so we'd try harder, wouldn't he?
So wait. So Lacazette goes 10 games without scoring, which you say is not good enough, but you want Ollie Watkins to come in and do the same.
Ollie Watkins is younger. Yeah. Listen, it's irrelevant because under this manager, we ain't ever going to be any good. So it's irrelevant.
Well,
We're just
I was going to ask you about that. If you were to finish,
that you should sign 80 million for me, and I'll keep saying it.
Here we go. Look at that comment. Now look at that comment. Ollie Watkins had his 7 goals against Arsenal and Liverpool.
Currently positions. How would you feel at the end of the season, though?
Look at that. Can we just read that quickly? Ollie Watkins stat padded 7 goals against Arsenal and Liverpool last season. He scored half of his goals in 4 matches. Make it make sense. Well, hang on. He scored against Arsenal and Liverpool 7 times last season. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good night. That's my point. Yeah, and he's doing that at Aston Villa.
And what did he do after that?
Scored another 7.
And over how many games?
And then got another 5 assists.
I'm not gonna lie. If you wanted those two, you should have just taken Tammy Abraham as well.
Honestly,
you were dissing Tammy Abraham, saying that you don't want him. You could have just taken Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham scored 15 goals in this league in his first season.
Honestly, and Matisse,
the championship.
We've had this conversation before, and I think Watkins is better than Tammy and Calvert-Lewin better than Tammy because they do more outside the box. But Tammy's goal scoring rate is similar to theirs. So if you're saying you're going to spend 40 million on Ivan Toney, who is nowhere near as proven in this league as Tammy Abraham, and that's not me saying that Tammy is a much better player than Ivan Toney. I'm just saying Tammy has done more in this league. So if you're going to spend 80 million on them, then what was the complaining about with Tammy Abraham?
That's what I'm saying. Like the gap in class is not really that big for the complaints.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, I'm saying why spend 80 million on 2 decent players when you can just spend 80 million on 1 player?
Because every time we spend big dough out on a player, it never works. So why would we go?
So you should stop. So
no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I have seen this Osimhen guy play quite a lot of times. Probably not as many as you, but I've seen him play quite a lot of times. And I've always thought quality player, right? But I look at it and I look at players that come in, and the majority of players that come in from the Italian league, yeah, or the Bundesliga or the French league, lesser so recent times, yeah, but the players that come in from them 3 leagues in particular, the majority of them, you have to half their figures. Lacazette was bagging 20-odd goals a season in France. Yeah, half his figures, he's now scoring 10. Yeah, I could go through about another 10 players that have done this. Jadon Sancho's come in after bagging week in, week out. He's done nothing. Nicola Pepe has scored half of the amount of goals in a season, 10 last season, than he did in France. So it's like, when you've got these players, they're playing up against fucking scrubs every week. Yeah, that have done them leagues, them 3 leagues. There's a couple of teams at the top that are half decent. The rest are absolute garbage. That Bundesliga, when we came out of lockdown, I started watching Bundesliga because it was the only football we had back on there. It was absolute. You see better over Hackney Marshes, mate. Yeah, they can't defend. So when Timo Werner, another one, by the way, and Kai Havertz, another one, by the way, that have come from these leagues and have not really had the output, yeah, it's because when you're going down the table and you've got Aston Villa with half-decent defenders, you've got West Ham, you've got fucking Brighton. You've got all of this. You ain't got that in these leagues. They've got a select couple of teams at the top. Yeah. The rest are crap. So when these players look good in these leagues, you have to take it with a little bit of pinch of salt.
Lee, and I get the point you're making about weaker leagues, but ballers are ballers. Ballers are ballers. There are some players who play in this league that come to this league and smash it.
Yeah,
there are some players who come.
I guarantee there's more that have failed that have succeeded.
Yeah, but there are more. There are some players that go out of the Premier League and go to these different leagues and they struggle. Lionel Messi is struggling in France right now. Eden Hazard went from the Premier League to Spain and he struggled. Yeah, so it doesn't just go both ways. We know that the Premier League physically is the most demanding league, but when we're talking about a striker like Osimhen,
who's physically imposing,
suits
built for this. Yeah,
he destroys defenders, bro. The same thing you're talking about Ivan Toney.
I'm just saying he ain't worth 70 million quid.
Bro,
he ain't. I'd rather have 2 players. One to play left wing, Ollie Watkins, and the other one can play up front, Ivan Toney. I'd rather have that.
But what I'm saying to you is you're better served spending 70-odd million on him than spending 80 million on Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney. What's the point? How much of a level are you? How much of a level are you going to jump from and to if you sign those two strikers?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Well, under this manager, we ain't going anywhere. So get rid of this manager and get a proper manager inside.
Even if you get a proper manager in, let's have it right. Let's say Aubameyang eventually is phased out of the team, Lacazette moves on, whatever.
Man said Brexit FC, you know.
Shall
I go and get my Riyad Mahrez shirt about Brexit FC, bruv? My Mahrez Algeria shirt.
You have Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins. How much of a gap are you looking to bridge on the top sides in the league? Yeah. When you see Man United with Greenwood, Rashford, Cavani on the bench, Ronaldo on the bench. When you see Chelsea with Lukaku, when you see Man City, they're gonna sign a bagsman.
Maybe they'll sign Ollie Watkins, right?
Liverpool with Salah.
No, you may well laugh. PSG signed Supermotic, bruv. And then Bayern Munich did the same.
Who out of those two strikers is Arsenal's 25 to 30 goal season striker? Because I'm telling you, it's not
under this manager, I've still got a negative goal difference. It makes no difference. We could sign Mbappe, Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Mahrez,
even if you got
Salah,
a new manager,
and put them all in the team, and we'd still do nothing with this manager.
I'm going to wrap this one up soon, though.
We've been going 2 hours, man. We need to go. I'm going.
I'm going to wrap this one up because I feel like this debate could continue for next week. But I just want to ask.
I love you, really, Toby.
I'm going to ask Lee one simple question: if Arsenal finish in the current position that they're in, which is 6th, what would be your review of the season? Would that be a good achievement for Arteta?
Loser, not good enough.
Still not good enough.
Not good enough. I want to win the league.
Yeah, but you can't win the league with this team.
We can't win the league with this manager.
I think even if a top manager had that team, you wouldn't win the league.
If Conte, and I said this earlier, if Conte came to Arsenal in the summer, that 150 million quid we wasted on, or 50 million was wasted on Ben White because he is fucking useless, right? And people will see it, and so is Martin Odegaard. It's no coincidence that Odegaard and Xhaka have not been playing, and we play better. Well, make it make sense. This is the creative spark and the linchpin playmaking, fucking whatever. But anyway, if Conte came in and spent 150 million quid, we would be in a title race. We wouldn't win it, but we would be in the race until maybe February, March, right? Then next season, give him more money and he'd win us the title.
Nah, I don't think.
I'm adamant of that. I'm adamant of that, mate. 100% adamant. With this manager, our fans will have their knickers in a twist if we get Europa League. The same Europa League that he's failed in twice already, right, and ain't going to win it. And now our fans were crying the other day. Oh, how comes we play Palace on a Monday and Villa on a Friday? Yeah, it's still one game a week, you fucking idiots. Yeah? What happens if we were playing in midweek? We would play on the Sunday. So it'd be Sunday. It'd be Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. We went Monday, Friday, and then Saturday, and now we're going Sunday. Nobody's saying, oh, how comes Arsenal played early kickoff on Saturday and now their next game's not until Sunday? Nobody's saying that, are they? Yeah, it's like excuses every time. This manager, can't stand him, don't want him. And if we had a proper manager, we'd go and buy proper players that are ready for now, not some poncy little youth project, yeah, that may or may not work. And let's be real. If you go back through the history of if you go through the history of football, how many project youths have actually worked to win a title? Class of 92, Pep Guardiola's team, and a few Ajax teams. That's it. That's it. Why do people think this is going to bang?
By the way, as well, I don't think you get Watkins for 40 million.
Maybe 25.
No, you probably have to pay more. They paid around 30 odd million.
32.
Fuck that.
Can you imagine paying 50 million for Ollie Watkins?
Fuck that. No.
We paid 35 million for Granit Xhaka, 35 for Mustafi, bruv. Like, this club would do anything. Nothing's out of possibility here, mate.
Well, guys, we're going to wrap that one up. Long show, plenty of debates.
It's this Joker, though, man. He triggers everyone.
Me? I ain't doing nothing, bro. I'm top of the league. I ain't got no reason to do anything.
Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens with Tottenham and Conte. We'll see what happens with Hudson-Odoi and Sancho. We'll see what happens with Pepe Everybody will see what happens at the end of the season. The end of the season show on this show is going to be fucking ridiculous. When Lee has all the statistics to go back on, it's going to be peak.
Mate, I can. It's such a clear day today. I can see Gibraltar. I reckon if I went and got a cab there right now, Martin Odegaard's got a statue in the middle of the fucking town square.
Oh my fucking God. Fuck, we're going to leave it there. Make sure you guys subscribe. You already know where to find them. The ats are there on the screen. And obviously, Lee Gunner on YouTube, TapinTobs on YouTube as well. TapinTobs' channel right now is booming with all the Conte talk. They're fucking taking their shirts off and doing all the madness. I saw Furad. I saw Furad with a flag or some shit on his channel. I don't know what's going on.
These jokers, bruv.
Make sure you go and subscribe. The links are in the description. See you guys in a bit.
I'll take her out.
Peace.